Hello everyone, Micheál Martin is running for cover. Now, last night, November the 12th, was due to be the big night when the review into the disastrous Jim Gavin presidential campaign report was due to be published, announced at his Fianna Fáil parliamentary party meeting. But wait for it, it's been delayed. Surprise, surprise, surprise. More delays. Back in the middle of October, they said they would have a report by early November as a matter of urgency to look into this disastrous presidential election campaign for Fianna Fáil and the move to get Jim Gavin on the ballot paper. Of course, it was on Micheál Martin's doing, wasn't it? But Micheál Martin gave a speech last night at this meeting, and he said the Fianna Fáil must move forward with unity. He said every day he will work to fulfil the mandate that was given to him by the people of Ireland back in November 2024. And he also said that he wants to deliver for the people of Ireland and focus to get things done. Isn't that wonderful? Great words from Martin again. But of course, the reality is the complete opposite to his facile, meaningless words that he uttered last night at this parliamentary party meeting. Of course, there was claims within his party of him being a top-down leader and needing to reconnect with people around Ireland, because Fianna Fáil, we all know, are a party of von der Leyen in Brussels and their masters and the big corporations, not about the interests of the people of Ireland. Anybody but the Irish, you might say. But this report or review group is chaired by a senior counsel called Kieran O'Loughlin, and there are three other members, including Tom Brabazon, who's a Fianna Fáil TD for the north side of Dublin, and also there is Eamon Scanlon, who's a TD for, I think, Sligo, Leitrim, and also Margaret Mary O'Connor, who's a senator from Cork. Now, interestingly enough, they haven't interviewed Micheál Martin yet. This is November the 13th, so you think that would be a priority for them, but seems not to be a priority for this review group in a matter of urgency. The main protagonist wasn't interviewed, and also Jim Gavin isn't involved in this review either. I find this very interesting. But of course, it's more kicking the can down the road. And there's no major urgency from people like Tom Brabazon, the Fianna Fáil TD, who's been on the social media talking about leaf clearing outside Bayside train station. Really important in the greater scheme of things, isn't it, Tom? But of course, this is the parish pump politics we've got used to in Ireland because of this whole political establishment. And interestingly, with all this, over the last couple of days, Michael McGrath has been talking out to say that they need Micheál Martin in this position because of his wealth of experience, and he wants to lead the Irish presidency into the European Council in the second half of 2026. Of course, Martin wants to hold on to this position, but they said that he has led the country through massive undertakings such as the COVID pandemic. Of course, there's another review into that, isn't there? But of course, there's no accountability in that review. Lessons learned and more can kicking down the road. Like Fianna Fáil, who've now announced their housing plans without targets, and much the same as they missed targets before. So nothing new to Fianna Fáil and their whole approach to the needs and delivering for the people of Ireland, according to Micheál Martin. Of course, this is more of the same. We've seen this over the last couple of days. He's met with parents, the government has met with the parents of Harvey Morrison and said they will have a statutory inquiry. But of course, this will take probably years before anybody, if ever, is held to account. And those politicians will be well gone from their positions at that stage, well ensconced with maybe European jobs, or perhaps on their big pensions, working in the media, maybe like people like Ivan Yates, taking their roles, moving around this musical chairs. And of course, Martin, I said, it announced the latest government's housing plan, more nonsense and more spin. And interesting enough, within this housing plan, there's 100 million towards purchasing second-hand homes, which of course is a big impact on putting house prices up, rather than delivering public homes through state authorities. That seems to be a thing of the past. It's all about transferring more money into private hands, pushing property prices up, for instance, for people who are looking for properties. And of course, with the exponential increase in population, now is the answer to get 300,000 homes by 2030, he said. But he said we need to ramp up to get to 50,000 a year. So let's do some maths on this. 2025 to 2030, 30,000. But he said they need to ramp up to get to 50,000. And it was only 32, 33,000 last year. So more spin, nonsense. It's going to impact ordinary people, working class people most of all. All the nonsense that he spoke about in his party last night. It's about protecting his own power, his own position, and his own prestige. He is a lame Doug Taoiseach. He should be removed, but it shows you the craven nature of the political party members of Fine Gael, or Fianna Fáil rather, which is the same, isn't it? Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. Interchangeable at this point. And they haven't stood up and offered an alternative to Martin. Of course, when you have people like Jim O'Callaghan waiting in the wings, it's not much of an alternative, such as the lack of personality coming from O'Callaghan himself. But of course, he has friends in high places. O'Callaghan, his own sister, of course, works with RTE. Miriam, whose latest book, I believe, is a bestseller. This is the nonsense that goes on in Ireland. Absolute nonsense. But this is the nonsense that, and more can kicking. They'll probably have their Christmas holidays. They'll be delayed. And of course, pushed down the road to avoid accountability. So Martin should be gone from that position. But of course, this is the way the Irish political life works in Ireland, where no accountability for anybody's actions. So thanks so much for the support with my videos, really appreciate them. Please share my videos far and wide. And thanks to everybody who supports me through Buy Me a Coffee. Most recently, thanks to Fanula for your kind and generous support through that platform as well. So from Dublin today, Slán go fóill. Take care. Slán.